Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Christian once again. Welcome to another episode of this show. Before we get into today's discussion, make sure you hit the four buttons that you see on your screen. A like would be nice. Be sure to comment, especially share, and why subscribe? Well, because at the time you're watching this video, it is Wednesday and it is my birthday. So happy birthday to me. And I just want to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. But before we get into talking about the Switch 2 Direct, I want to talk about the Switch 1 Direct. There's been a lot of rumors about that, and I was like, why are they talking about Switch 1 Direct when the Switch 2 Direct is like happening next week? And I wasn't really believing all the hype about the Switch 1 Direct happening this week until Nate the Hate when he put his mouth into it. And you know what he said? He said, yes, I've heard there is a Nintendo presentation this week. I believe it is on or around Thursday and it will be a direct. But I'm not 100% certain on the format at present. So now I'm forced to actually believing in him, because if you guys don't know, Nate the Hate is the one who leaked the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer launch on Thursday, January 16, and it actually happened. And he leaked a bunch of other stuff that actually came true, and now that he's talking about a direct this week, I'm like, why is Nintendo doing this? I mean, this week is supposed to be the calm before the storm, and that is not in Nintendo's dictionary. They just want to put a bunch of crazy ass announcements on our heads the week before the massive Switch 2 Direct presentation, and I'm already overwhelmed at the moment. I'm going to be streaming that Direct as well, so now I'm going to have to set up all of my equipment for this new Switch 1 Direct. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I have a lot of stuff to do. I'm also playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on my birthday. So, yeah. I also made a video for my prediction on what we're going to be seeing on the Nintendo Switch 1 Direct back in February, when I actually thought we would be getting a Switch 1 Direct in February. And as well as my prediction for Switch 2. I was going to do another whole video on that, but you know what, guys? I think I'm going to repost that video on this video. So if you haven't watched that video, well, you'll be watching it right now. So in 3, 2, 1, here we go. It's February, the rumored Nintendo Direct. I'm thinking we're going to be learning more about the Xenoblade Chronicles X coming this March, and I think it's going to be like around 5 to 6 minutes of footage. Some new trailers will be dropping, some new information will be dropping, including the new storyline. Moving from the Xenoblade Chronicles X, we're going to be seeing some Metroid Prime 4 information. That includes gameplay, that includes new mechanics, new storyline, more information about what's going on with Samus and Silex. I think I got his name correct. And also we're going to be hearing more about Metroid Prime 2 and 3, which also has been heavily rumored to make an appearance on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I think Metroid Prime 2 is going to be shadow dropped at that direct, and Metroid Prime 3 will come in at a later date. I'm thinking like somewhere between April or May. And as for Metroid Prime 4, we're actually not going to get a release date. We're going to get like a 2025 release date until the April Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. Now, why I'm saying that is because I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a cross-gen title. What I mean by that is, with the mouse functionality that has been teased at the Nintendo Switch 2 preview video that we got, announcement video that we got, I think Metroid Prime 4 has been implemented for the Switch 2 as well. So it's kind of like, in a way, similar to previous cross-gen titles like Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild, that both games were cross-gen, and there was some functionality for the newest console back at the time. We're going to see how we play Samus in Metroid Prime 4 using the mouse functionality. That is just a guess I'm thinking of. So yeah, Metroid Prime 4 will be a cross-gen title for the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Um, I'm thinking Zelda Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess HD might also make an appearance at that Nintendo Switch Direct, February Direct. Why I say that is because it's also been heavily rumored, and there's been some leaks on that as well. So yeah, Zelda Wind Waker or Twilight Princess HD is also imminent. And according to Nato Hits, the next title I'm thinking we're going to be seeing is Kirby Planet Robobots. That also has been heavily rumored to make an appearance as a Switch exclusive. And of course, well, what I mean by exclusive is like it's coming to the Switch. It's not going to come to all the console except the Switch and Switch 2. So that's what I mean by exclusive. So just remember that. So yeah, Kirby Planet Robobots, that's coming very soon as well. And one last game, according to rumors, there has been a lot of speculation that there's going to be one last game that's going to be like a massive blowout for Nintendo Switch 1. And it's going to be a game that is very niche for the Nintendo Switch fans out there. That game, I think, is going to be Fire Emblem. And that game in particular is Genealogy of the Holy War. That game has been heavily rumored for quite a long time. Like I'm thinking since 2023 or 2022. But that game has been heavily rumored. Nintendo has been sitting on that game for quite a while. I actually thought we were going to get some information on that last year at the Nintendo Direct in June. And that didn't happen. We got Mario and Luigi announcement instead, but that's okay. I'm expecting some Fire Emblem news this coming February. And that game will definitely be a massive blowout for the Switch 1. And I'm thinking it's going to get released sometime in June. Kind of like right around when the Switch 2 is going to get launched. So that is definitely going to be a great send-off for the Nintendo Switch 1 game, Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. I'm looking forward to that. And as for third party, I only have one game in mind. I'm not thinking about other games, but just one game in mind. And it's already been announced. We've already seen it. Capcom Fighting Collection 2, the one that has Power Stone on it. Capcom versus SNK 2. That game is going also, we're going to see some information on that game as well. And that's going to release sometime in March or April. It's not going to come out soon, but March or April, that is the launch, the release dates I see for that game. Now, the last one, I'm thinking of one last one for third party. And I'm thinking it's going to be Silksong. Why do I say Silksong is because we recently got news, or basically like a Twitter feed. X will always be, and then the alphabet's never a brand name. But I think we're going to get some Silksong news, especially since we got that tweet from that guy, from that developer, who says that we're actually getting that the game will be released, development is going smoothly and all that good jazz. That's good news, but at the same time, it's like it's been too long, guys. Silksong developers, it's been too long. Cherry Games just released the game already. We are tired. That game was supposed to be a DLC for Hollow Knight. Yeah, it's been too long. So I'm expecting some Silksong news sometime this year. If not on the February Direct, sometime this year. Now, moving on from everything from the February Direct all the way to the Nintendo Switch 2 launch game prediction. Okay, now let's talk about first party title for the Nintendo Switch 2. Some of those titles that we're going to be seeing this coming April at the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Before we get into that, I just want to point out a few things that I've seen. Some of the netizens online talking about Nintendo Switch 2, especially when they saw the trailer, the launch trailer for the Switch 2. Actually, the reveal trailer for Nintendo Switch 2. Some people saw the Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 10, whatever they're going to call it. They saw the footage of this. And they started judging what the game looks like, saying, oh, it looks like a downgraded version of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Oh, it's not as powerful. Oh, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a fail. Guys, I'm going to tell you straight up that trailer, that 5 second trailer, it says a lot about some of you guys saying that it's going to be less powerful without even actually having the console in your hands. That already is a judgment in itself. But there are some people who actually have worked with Nintendo consoles. Some developers out there who actually went on YouTube to analyze what the game looks like and how powerful the console is. One particular developer I saw online, his name is Sungrain Studio. Shout out to Sungrain Studio. A couple of highlights I'm going to point out that he mentioned. He says that the Mario Kart game itself, it uses like physically based shader that allows more realistic lighting and shadows. He also states that the game, judging by what he saw, that it uses volumetric lighting, high resolution texture, improved shadows, higher poly counts, and cloth simulation, which he will say that we can see real-time cloth simulation being featured in the game, showcasing the Switch 2 capacity of complex physics calculation, meaning that it uses a lot of texture, and gives opportunities for developers to create larger and more realistic games without the performance compromise. What does that mean by that? He means that the developers now have enough freedoms to add more graphic features in a game without the sacrifice of performance. Like now they can push their performance up to, I would say, from my guess, like 60 FPS. I would talk more about what he said in another video, but right now we're just talking about what's going to happen at the Nintendo Direct. So basically, in a nutshell, the Switch 2 is much more powerful, or as powerful as the PlayStation 4 Pro or the PlayStation 5 in general. So with that being said, let's get into what's going to happen at the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct showcase presentation. What I would love to see coming up at that presentation is, apart from Mario Kart 9, the newest Mario, 3D Mario to be exact. I'm thinking it's going to be an open world Mario, 3D Mario game. I would say I think it'll be like a newest title. It's not going to be a Mario Odyssey or a Mario Galaxy 3, because if you know the history of 3D Mario and how Nintendo have been releasing 3D Mario games, you will know that there's not going to be a sequel to Mario Odyssey, like Mario Odyssey 2, or a sequel to Mario Galaxy 3. Why do I say that? Is because, as I say, if you look at the history of Mario games, when Mario Galaxy came out, the sequel to Mario Galaxy was also on the Wii. When Super Mario Brothers 3D Lands came out on the 3DS, Super Mario 3D Worlds came out on this Wii U. Same generation. The classic Mario titles, they're not really 3D Mario per se, but they're like still in the sequels side of thing. Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, they all were released on a Nintendo platform, the NES. Mario Worlds and Mario Worlds 2, that's Yoshi's Island Super Mario Worlds 2, they were all released on the SNES, the Super Nintendo. If we were going to get a Mario Odyssey title, we would have gotten it on the Switch. It would have been released around 2021, 2022. So with that being said, I don't think we're going to see a Mario Galaxy 3 or a Mario Odyssey 2, because they're not going to be in this exact same console. It's going to be a brand new Mario. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be open world, and I believe it's going to use some of the mechanics that we've seen in Bowser's Fury, that small Mario game that was included in Super Mario 3D World. So, brand new 3D Mario, we are in for a brand new 3D Mario, and I think we're going to get this holiday season. It's going to be released this holiday season, particularly in November or October. But what we are getting this launch will be Mario Kart 9, as we've already seen. And Mario Kart 9 will definitely feature 24 players. And the mechanic, I believe the mechanic would include some of those mouse features, but I don't know how they're going to implement that in the new Mario Kart game. But 24 players, and it's going to be pretty big, like open worlds Mario Kart game. I don't know how open world it will be. I'm thinking something between a Forza game or the Crew, but it would be massive, as we've seen in that trailer earlier this month. So, next first party game I'm seeing going to happen, a new Smash game. Honestly, I would love to see Smash Brothers Ultimate Deluxe, because I see Smash Brothers Ultimate as the ultimate Smash Brothers game. I don't want to see a new reboot or a new revamp or whatever they call it. I want to see a deluxe version of Smash Brothers Ultimate. But I could be wrong, but I'm okay with getting a new Smash Brothers title. That game is going to happen, I would say, next year, 2026. So we're going to get a new Smash in 2026. I think we're going to get a teaser in the April Direct, like just a teaser. And it will say teaser Smash Brothers 2026. That's all we're going to be getting. We're going to get some Switch sequel, like One to Switch sequel, or maybe like a Nintendo Switch Sports sequel that also utilizes the mouse functionality that we were teased at the video, at the trailer for the Switch 2 unveiling. Maybe a new IP, maybe a new Switch 2 IP. We're going to be seeing that. Maybe a Zelda. Maybe we'll be getting that Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD. I know I mentioned that one as a game that we'll be seeing at the Nintendo Direct one, the one coming in February. But I won't mind seeing that again at the Switch 2 Direct, because we'll never know. We might get that. That is based on the rumor that we've seen that we'll be getting a remake or remaster of Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess. So I won't be surprised if we see that one again or at some points. And I also mentioned Metroid Prime 4 briefly, that we were going to get Metroid Prime 4, like a footage of that or something along the line. This Metroid Prime 4 will definitely use the mouse functionality for those who want to get the Switch 2 version or what have you, I don't know, but something like that. Metroid Prime 4. Star Fox, I'm hoping to see a Star Fox game. I'm hoping to see F-Zero returning as a first party title, and maybe a little bit of Animal Crossing. I like to see some Animal Crossing make an appearance at that Direct. So right now we're not seeing a lot of information in regards to first party title for the Nintendo Switch 2 right now at this time, and I'm okay with that, because the Switch 2 got leaked so much so that it's not even funny anymore, that everybody now knows it's like the worst kept secrets in the gaming industry right now. But I'm loving the fact that we don't know much about the first party games apart from Mario Kart 9 and some occasional 3D Mario, Smash Brothers, all that guessing that we are guessing at the moment. No actual full proof or no actual leaked type of situation about certain first party game that we're getting, and I'm actually liking that, because I want to be surprised. I'm sure some of you want to be surprised by what we'll be getting this April, so we're in for a good time when it comes to first party. Now, when it comes to third party, we got a lot of third party leaks and rumors out there, beginning with Net the Hate, the guy who accurately predicted the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2 coming in Thursday 2 weeks ago. He said that we'll be getting lots of third-party support. The first third-party support is from Square Enix, and that is for Final Fantasy VII Remake coming this year and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming next year. And we got some confirmation from Square Enix, I believe, that we will be getting the third installment for the Final Fantasy VII Remake series coming to the PlayStation 5. What does that mean exactly? That means that the entire series of the Final Fantasy VII Remake will all be coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 for the remake, PlayStation 5 for the rebirth, and the last one will also be coming to PlayStation 5. So I'm guessing that we'll also be getting the final Final Fantasy VII game on the Switch 2 in 2027 or 2028. That depends on how they go through the development process. We are in for a great time when it comes to Final Fantasy VII, the entire series. The next one coming from Microsoft. Phil Spencer came out just recently and he said that he was excited for Nintendo Switch 2 and he was ready to support the new console. And he actually mentioned that on an interview. I will put a link in the description below for what he's actually said, for some of the news article of what he said. So we got confirmation from Phil Spencer that they will be supporting Switch 2 with their games. And we already got confirmation from Nintendo, who accurately confirms the Switch 2 unveiling and is now confirming that Halo Master Chief Collection will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2, as well as Microsoft Flight Simulator. So those two games that he mentioned, the Flight Simulator and Halo Master Chief Collection, they will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm expecting those to make an appearance at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in April. And that's not all. Apart from Microsoft's Flight Simulator and Halo Master Chief Collection, I'm expecting at least 3 out of 4 games from the developer direct that we just got. Now, recently Microsoft dropped Xbox Direct and we were treated with 4 brand new games. South of Midnight, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Ninja Gaiden 4 with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and Doom the Dark Ages. So I'm predicting 3 out of those 4 games will be dropping on the Switch 2 at some point. I don't think they will be dropping at launch, but at some points during the life cycle of the Nintendo Switch 2. And those 3 games are Expedition 33, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Doom the Dark Ages. Hey guys, so listen, just heard the news. It came to my attention that Doom the Dark Ages is going to be coming on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I was just guessing in this video that you are watching. I was just guessing. But a lot of reports, a lot of sources are stating that my guess is absolutely 100% correct, that Doom the Dark Ages is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, those sources came from several sources, including those that are stating that the game is coming to the PlayStation 5 around the time of the game's release, as well as Phil Spencer's interview where he stated that he is planning to have multiple of the Xbox games coming to the Nintendo platform, the Switch 2. So lots of news circulating right now, guys. We are in for an exciting time here next generation. Okay, now back to the video. I don't know about South of Midnight. It might come in, it might not come in, but I'm not so sure about that one. But those 3 games, I'm 100% sure that Nintendo fans would jump into those 3 games. A lot of support for RPG games, especially for Expedition 33. It's a RPG very heavily based on lots of gameplay mechanics from Persona to Paper Mario, all that good stuff. Heavy RPG fans will jump into that game, and having a game like that on Nintendo Switch 2 would definitely be an appeal for them. And we also got Doom the Dark Ages. There's already Doom games, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal on the Switch. So people will jump into Doom the Dark Ages for the Switch too. And we got Ninja Gaiden. We already getting Ninja Gaiden on the on Nintendo Switch. With a Ninja Gaiden game that got recently announced. Ninja Gaiden Rage Bounds, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I strongly believe these three games, well, one of them is coming to the Switch. But those other two games, Ninja Gaiden 4 and Ninja Gaiden 2 Blacks, I strongly believe they're going to be coming to the Switch too at some point. Maybe not during the launch year, but at some point. So we got Ninja Gaiden down. We got Halo Master Chief Collection down. We got Flight Simulator, Final Fantasy 7, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. These are heavily rumored to come to the Switch 2 as well. I don't know have much information to drop about those two titles, but Mirage and Shadows were Mirage mostly was heavily mentioned by Nate the Hit. Shadows was basically like a guess. So yeah. Also we got Mario plus Rabbit collection that is definitely coming to the Switch too. Because recently Ubisoft made a statement that they actually regretted not listening to Nintendo because Nintendo told them not to release Sparks of Hope on the Switch, but they actually did it. So they ended up like biting more than they could chew. So now they are planning to do a bundle of both Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope coming to the Switch too at some point. I believe we'll also be getting Metaphor with Fantasio. That game made Game of the Year last year for Best RPG, and it's definitely coming to the Switch too at some point. A lot of rumors speculates that this is definitely coming to the Switch too. So I'm seeing this one as a launch title as well. I'm also expecting to see Minecraft. If Flight Simulator is coming, I'm expecting some Minecraft announcements on the Switch too. Some Fortnite coming to the Switch too. And when it comes to like heavy RPG games, there are two games I have in mind. One of them is Baldur's Gate 3. This is one of the most iconic RPG game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Nintendo fans who wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3 but could not afford to get it because they don't have an Xbox will jump right into getting a physical copy or a digital copy of said game. And I believe that this game is going to come into the Switch too, as well as Elden Ring. Elden Ring with the DLC all combined together also coming to the Switch too as a physical and as a digital, and people will like buy the Switch too in drove for that game. And I'm pretty sure these two games will make massive sale for the Switch too. Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring. Okay, last but definitely not least, I'm seeing Street Fighter coming to Nintendo Switch 2 as well. And these are actually two Street Fighter games I'm seeing coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6. And if Capcom can actually pull in Street Fighter 3, and no, not Street Fighter 3. If Capcom can also pull in Street Fighter 4 in maybe like as a remake, Street Fighter 4 as a remake, because that game is stuck on this 3DS, and it also has been stuck on previous platform. We would be getting the entire Street Fighter series for the Switch and for the Switch 2 as well. What I mean by that is we got Street Fighter the Anniversary Collection that has Street Fighter 1, 2, and 3. And if we can get Street Fighter 4 like as a remake for the Switch 2, and then we get Street Fighter 5 coming to the Switch 2 and Street Fighter 6, that would be great for Capcom. The entire Street Fighter series coming to the Switch 2 and the Switch having this 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch, and then having 4, 5, and 6 on the Switch 2. That would be awesome for Nintendo fans. And okay, I know I said last but certainly not least the Street Fighter series, but I also heard recently that when it comes to like games like live service, couple of other games that I'm thinking will actually be coming to the Switch too. That is Marvel Rivals, and also Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. So those three games, Marvel Rival, Overwatch and Overwatch 2, I'm seeing those make an appearance as a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, wait for a great time, guys. We are in for some great times. I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to fail. Look at Mario Kart 9. Does it look like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? That looks so washed up. Guys, relax. If Nintendo was able to sell the Switch for 150 million people, and it's still selling at the moment, and we are still getting some more games like Metroid Prime 4 for Nintendo Switch. Imagine how many games we'll be getting for Nintendo Switch 2, especially with the fact that Nintendo keeps dropping first party titles every single month. And I still believe that they are going to switch formula where they're going to be dropping first parties every single month, first party titles every single month. And if they are continuing on that trend, and we got first party people, first party developers jumping on boards for the Switch 2, and we're about to release all those awesome games that were on other platforms coming to the Switch 2. No way in any alternate version we will see a Switch 2 failing or getting worse than the Wii U. That's not gonna happen. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. So, wait for a good time, wait for some great titles. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Anyway, hope you like this video. I'm gonna go. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Until next time, I'm gonna go play my Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's a fun game, by the way.